was one story I could not escape. And it was when you came to WCW, ECW, that is. And the story was, now, obviously, we're going to confirm right now. The story was like, Sinister Minister blows his hand off. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Because I don't have a million journalists or social media or you on Instagram or Twitter tweeting out my hand is not blown up. Like it was everywhere. Blows hand off. So I'm thinking no hand. So let's confirm. What happened? Did you blow your hand off? And what went wrong?
I didn't blow my hand off. What happened? I was using when throwing fire became part of the crazy Mikey Whipwreck gimmick and mine. Normally people would just grab a piece of flash paper, which is nitrocellulose, highly flammable and dangerous, by the way, roll it up and stick a lighter to it like this and just throw it, right? Well, I found a magician's tool that it was like a ring, a ring around your finger, and on your hand here, it looked like a shell casing or something for a 44 Magnum or something, about that size. And it had a glow plug on the back of it. So you're supposed to put a sheet of flash papers, like 8x10. You're supposed to tear little pieces of it off, and it'll poof, throw a little fireball out. We just kept putting more and more over the weeks and months that I had this thing. And this pay-per-view in Chicago is going to be a big deal. So I said, let's just see if we can fit an entire sheet in. And I'd gotten almost an entire sheet in, like 3/4 of the way full. And we were back, and I was shooting it off backstage, and it was like, wow, this is an amazing fireball, so much better than what a magician does. And we tested it a few times backstage. And the deal was, when they came through the curtain, I was gonna stick my hand between them and shoot a big fireball. Well, I had a toothbrush, and I was packing it, trying to pack this piece of paper in to it like Davy Crockett packing a musket or a flintlock. And I guess my hand hit that glow plug, and the toothbrush was in it. Therefore, instead of it going out, it became a bomb, your grenade, and it's made out of copper. So it exploded, bang, and everybody was kind of deaf for a second because you heard that beep in the air, like what, from the explosion. And I looked down at my hand, and the story's been told a million times. I looked at Mikey and I went, Mikey, fuck, this isn't good. But my hand just looked like it was torn up for, something was wrong with it. It wasn't bleeding yet for just a 10 count or something. And then suddenly it started like a sprinkler. It was squirting out all over the place. Looked at Mikey. Now, I don't know if you can see here. See this part of my finger?
Yep.
Okay. Compared to my other one? Okay. So I lost tip of my finger. The entire my hand was completely blown open. So once the blood started going to it, I knew something wrong had happened, obviously. And I walked through. I went to go to the sink. Sandman's there, drunk as usual, holding court, and all the blood is squirting out. And he'd seen Mikey and myself, bring various gimmicks over the last few months. And he goes, red guy, that's the best gimmick yet. Like he thought I had fake blood squirting out of my hand. And I went to the sink to run water over it, and I'm in shock, and I noticed that my suit jacket was blown open. And at first I thought, oh shit, I've got to buy another suit. And then I looked at my black shirt underneath, because it's black, you couldn't see blood. And I felt it was wet. And right where I touched it, this finger, no, it was the other finger, because this one was blown up. I touched it, and my finger went in to my abdomen, I don't know, 2 knuckles deep. At that point, about fainted. Went to the hospital. They had to do skin and nerve grafts on my hand. So for a couple months, my hand looked like Leatherface's mask. It looked like a quilt of just nasty stitches and black dead skin. Up here, they had to do they had to pull a nerve out of my arm to connect it to my index finger because actually my hand was stuck like this. I
Oh no.
swear to God, my hand, whatever it did to the nerves in my hand, my middle finger was stuck up and the rest of them were down. So they bandaged me up. What they were worried about was not my hand. They said that we can deal with. But basically, they said it was like I'd gotten shot in the stomach with a small caliber handgun. They said, we're just going to bandage your hand up and we've got to go in there and do surgery and get all the shrapnel out of your gut. So I was in the hospital about a week. And then, eventually they did go back and do the things I told you about with the surgery. So, I mean, even to this day, I can, like, water can hit this big skin graft or something if it's raining and it screwed up the circuitry to my nerves. So, like, I could touch this here and it'll like make my toes wiggle and things like that. So it was a pretty serious injury. And God, it was a hell of a time. And I was worried for the longest time that my legacy was going to be just some guy blew his hand up. But yeah, got all over the internet that I blew 3 fingers off. Or I think even on ECW TV, the FBI came out with scissors and said that they cut my fingers off because nobody really knew what had happened, And when I was back there, I don't know if you ever saw this because it was like the week after, they were trying to film footage of the paramedics, EMTs, whatever you call them, dealing with me, trying to, before I got in the ambulance, and they were cursing the camera people out. The camera people were trying to get the footage, and I don't know if I was stupid or in shock or drunk or a combination of both, but I was going, oh, no, get this on camera, get it on camera, because, it may have been, I think in the back of my mind, because the MT kept saying, you're in shock, you need to calm down or you're going to die. And I guess when you're in shock, you don't know you're in shock. Your body numbs you, but I guess you're, whatever, your blood pressure and everything's through the roof. And I guess in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, if I'm going to die, at least I'll go out on camera. So there was that.
Oh my God. That I'm so happy that you told me that story because that was the run. I call it like a schoolyard rumor. We're like, oh, did you hear Sinister Minister? He blew his whole hand off. It's missing. Like, oh. And then you brought up FBI, but using it as a storyline because in wrestling, it's to always use a real life situation in a storyline.